Hello and welcome to Dateline Lagos on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. On the program, Governor Sanwo-Olu to construct new Macy Children's Hospital and rehabilitate Adenija Dele Road, and state ministries give account of Governor Sanwo-Olu's performance. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has shifted his attention to the Lagos Island as he flags off construction of the new Macy Children's Hospital and rehabilitation of Adenija Dele and Okepopo Takwa streets. Let's find out what the state government has for the area.
Lagos Highland is the most strategic area in Lagos State. It's one of the largest commercial corridors with a high volume of human and vehicular traffic. The pressure on the roads has drawn the attention of the Lagos State government to rehabilitate the entire roads in Lagos Highland. Government is not just fixing the roads. A new children's hospital would also be seated on this axis. And Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is here to flag off the construction of the new Master Street Children's Hospital and the rehabilitation of Adenija Dele and Okepopo Takwa streets, all in Lagos Highland local government area. The ministry in charge of the project explains the regeneration plans of the new Lagos and seeks cooperation of the people.
Adenija Dele, as you all know, is a major strategic bypass that traverses the administrative boundary of Lagos Island local government and the Lagos Island East. Presently, the road as it is a two-lane carriageway of about 2.2634 kilometers, while Okepopo itself is about 1.069 kilometers. These bad conditions on these roads can be attributed to the poor drainage channel system and the blockage of the drainage channels either by silt or by refuse. Interrupted outlets that you've had people constructed on outflow patterns, and in some instances, drain sizes, inadequate drain sizings, or largely that has contributed to the pavement drainage. The roads will be reconstructed and upgraded to semi-rigid pavements with reinforced concrete drains, culverts and median barriers, transverse and longitudinal ducts, and installation of low-emission diode-powered street lighting. In doing this, alternative routes will also be provided for public use during the course of construction, just as location of utilities and services will be done first. I'd like to use this medium to solicit the cooperation of the residents and the various stakeholders, pleading for your understanding in the course of doing this work, because definitely there will be inconveniences with the construction works and then with the volume of magnitude of work to be done on the outfalls. Be rest assured that the benefits, of course, over time would outweigh the pains that we'll go through initially.
There are about 56 identified roads in the area, which was further categorized into 3 categories according to their level of importance and the traffic they convey. The categorization is as follows: major arterial and high order roads 6 number, medium order roads 6 number, local access route 44. The high order roads are 6 in number, and they go thus: Idumagu, Adeniji, Okepopo Takwa, Smith, Massey, Palm Church, Igadugono, Isalegbede, Aro Lawyer, and Enowa, giving a total length of 5.57 kilometers. We are going to have a carriageway of about 5 meters on either side, which is 10 in all. There's going to be a 1 meter by 1 meter drain on either side. There's provision for service ducts as well as for street lighting. That is on Adeniji Adele. The second one is Takwa Okepopo, which has a carriageway of 6 meters. You have drain on either side of 0.75 meters, and the drain will serve as walkway. Socio-economic benefits of this project: the reconstruction and upgrade on completion will, amongst, facilitate the provision of efficient infrastructure and services for the area and make Lagos Island a pride of the metropolis.
The proposed construction of the new Master Street Children's Hospital is a 7-story building with 150-bed pediatrics hospital that will provide secondary integrated care services for both inpatients and outpatients with international best practices.
The building is sitting on 4,000 square meters. It is on a site of 14,000 square meters, and it will be 150 beds, multidisciplinary, specialist, pediatric hospital, probably the only one of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa when we're completed. This master plan that we're looking at, which is the derivative of the blueprint strategy. So many people have been involved with the design of this project. We have local and international specialists in medical design. We have contractors, we have civil engineers, all kinds of people have finally come up with this master plan that we're looking at. And in the design, we took everybody's perspective, particularly the staff that are going to use this facility when it is complete. And this building is going to be responsible for the welfare of the children of Lagos as we move forward, as the old Massey Street has done. This one will take over from that and to ensure that the youth of Lagos State have a specialist facility where we can train doctors, where we can treat every discipline of disease that can affect our children, to make sure that we have healthy young children that will contribute to the economy of Lagos State.
Governor Sanwo-Olu takes to the stage and says the road project would improve connectivity, reduce traffic on the island, and highlights the importance of the Children's Hospital.
These projects are an integral part of our Greater Lagos vision, and that which this presents a unique opportunity for us to advance the cause of Lagos State and to improve the overall well-being of Lagosians. At the inception of this administration, we promised you lasting and audacious reforms in critical sectors, which is encapsulated in our team's agenda. I'm proud to say that in the last 2 years, we have walked the talk by not only initiating people-centered policy, but also by resiliently implementing those projects that enhance the collective well-being of our people. The construction of the new Massey Children's Hospital reflects our unwavering determination to bridge all gaps in the health sector, while the reconstruction of the 3 major roads on Lagos Island demonstrate this administration's commitment to an inclusive and non-discriminatory developmental agenda for the whole of Lagos State. Both projects affirm our commitment to the social contract we signed with Lagosians exactly 700 days ago. We are honored by the trust reposed in us and will continue to seek new opportunities to respond to the infrastructural needs of Lagosians. This government is driven by the desire to build a formidable and an equitable state with productive and healthy citizens. As a responsive government, we are determined that the inadequacy of the current Massey Children's Hospital to continue to meet the needs of a megacity with over 22 million population is certainly not acceptable. The hospital was established in 1914 as the first general outpatient clinic and a referral center in Lagos State, and was converted to a full-fledged pediatric hospital in 1961, which is over 60 years ago. As a result of the steady and increasing number of patients, especially pediatrics, who daily throng this hospital to access medical facilities, the capacity of this hospital has been overstretched, and we must urgently upgrade and provide quality service to the needy patients. The choice of the reconstruction and upgrade of Adeya Dele Okepopo Tapa is to kickstart phase 1 of the regeneration plan, which is informed by 2 factors. The first factor is the economic importance of these roads and the high level of traffic they convey, while the second factor is the complementary value these roads will add to the new Massey Children's Hospital. Adeya Dele phases 1, 2, 3, 4. Behind me here, some of the buildings are going down. Some of the buildings are not habitable again. We are going to be working with the residents to see how we can begin to do regeneration of every strip on Adeya Dele low-cost housing. It's about time that we need to do that for our citizens. The regeneration that we're doing at the Sale Gongon and are owing people some rent. We have made the money available, and I'm saying it publicly, all the rents that we're owing people have been paid or are currently being processed to be paid, and ensure that no family is left, to any form of hardship.
The administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu plans to regenerate Lagos Island, which is kicking off with the northern area.
Thank you.
56 roads have been identified for upgrade. When completed, it will ensure safety of lives, increase property value, create direct and indirect employment for residents, and further strengthen the position of Lagos Island as the foremost business hub in Lagos State.
Lagosians, we are recording more cases of the deadly COVID-19 pandemic every day. The second wave is spreading like wildfire in our communities. It is deadlier, spreads faster, and kills faster. Our isolation centers are getting filled up, and more patients are on oxygen. More people are dying, and the young ones are not left out. You don't need to die in ignorance or arrogance and foolishness. Observe all the precautions. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water. If you don't have access to water and soap, please use an alcohol-based sanitizer. Use your face mask properly and regularly. If you have to go out or be in public, avoid large crowds. Observe social distance always. Do not hug. If it's not important, stay at home. Most common symptoms include fever, dry cough or tiredness, aches and pains, sore throat, loss of taste or smell. Serious symptoms include shortness of breath, chest pain or loss of speech. Should you have any of these symptoms or know someone who does, please call the 24/7 Eco Telemed toll-free line on 0800 035 6633. We must take responsibility for our health and lives. We must fight coronavirus by being responsible. Please observe all precautions. The second wave of coronavirus is killing faster than you can imagine. Stay safe. Be responsible. Don't waste your life. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, Àjùmọ̀ṣe, Lagos State Government announcer.
It's another opportunity for the Lagos State ministries to give account of what has been achieved in their various sectors just before the celebration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's 2 years in office. Now, while acknowledging the challenges posed to them in providing effective service to the people, they reassured residents of delivering on the dividends of democracy going forward. Take a look.
Come May 29, 2021, the Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, will be 2 years on the saddle of Lagos State affairs. As part of activities lined up for that celebration, the Governor, through his commissioners, is taking stock of his performance over the period. The themes agenda of Governor Sanwo-Olu clearly points out what has been done in various sectors, starting with traffic management and transportation, and the commissioner in charge of the ministry gives account of what has been achieved so far.
The administration of Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu actually set out a mandate to reduce traffic congestion by resolving gridlock points. So 60 gridlock points were identified in Lagos as bottlenecks that we need to deal with. Secondly, it set out to continuously fix all potholes. I remember when this administration came in, there were potholes all over the place. People were complaining, and so it was. We made it a mandate to ensure that we make all of our roads motorable. And most importantly, we are accelerating the implementation of the multimodal transport system that we set out in the Strategic Transport Master Plan. So Lagos State has a Strategic Transport Master Plan, which talks about the number of rails that we need to build. So we need to build 6 rails and 1 monorail, 14 BLT, over 20 water routes, just to make sure that Lagos we're able to move people sustainably from one point to the other. Most importantly, to move them seamlessly, to improve connectivity and to improve access to the network. So what are we doing in Apapa? We're working in collaboration with the Nigerian Port Authority. You heard of the e-call-up system that has been deployed. The e-call-up system is working well. However, there is an issue which we are also resolving. So the e-call-up system actually caters for the flatbeds. And the flatbed makes up about 70% of the trucks that come into Apapa. So we are beginning to deal with the flatbeds, but we have left out the tankers, and the tankers are the ones that are the nuisance now. But the good news is that we are talking to Newpeng, we are talking to the tanker drivers. They are willing to come on the call-up system. However, there's something that Lagos State has to do. So the success, one of the things that you need to put in place to ensure that the call-up system is successful is to ensure that you have truck parks, because these trucks must have a place to park. So these are very quick interventions that we're doing, but that is not the lasting solution. The lasting solution is to have another port. And that is why Lagos State is developing the Lekki Deep Sea Port in Lekki. And the good news is that that deep sea port will be completed in 18 months. Once we're able to develop that deep sea port, we will take a lot of pressure off Apapa.
Then the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure highlights what Governor Sanwo-Olu has put in place in the area of road infrastructure.
It's just 731 days, but in that 731 days, I think we have done impactful things that the citizenry need to be aware of what we have done, what exactly we have brought to the quality of infrastructure in the state. The Ministry of Works and Infrastructure has also completed the construction of 51 road projects since the advent of this administration, and 23 public buildings infrastructure that the Office of Works is providing for the good people of Lagos State. The construction of constituency roads within the state, they are about 80%, the total is about 6.29 kilometers. Then we have the phase 3 of the constituency road projects in Agege. It's a newly awarded one, so it's about 18%. And then the constituency roads within Mushin and Ifakojaida is at 65%. And then Ijede, Itamaga to Ewelepe, the first phase, that's a 6-kilometer road. And by the grace of God, by the middle of next month, that project is finished. It's finished. It's a 6-kilometer road, like I said, dual carriageway, it's already done. Anybody that lives around Ijede, this time last year, you could not, Shanfi, there's a petrol station there that actually they cut the road into 2. But in the last 3 months, when that segment of the road had been captured, people who live around there can attest to the fact that the problems are over there. So we also have the reconstruction of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Igbogo that has attained a progress of 21%. It's a 7.114 kilometer road. And then the Agrik-Shao Okonu. This is a strategic road because it's like one of the precursors to the Fort Mainland Bridge, because by the time we finish, it links actually into Fort Mainland Bridge. So it's of a necessity that we finish that road. So this is where we are. When we came on board, one of the things we told ourselves is we will do things differently. Why is it that this Fort Mainland Bridge has not taken place all along? If the procurement process was not transparent, international investors were not likely to take us seriously. So we decided from day one, we'll be transparent in the things that we do. So the expression of interest that we did ask people to be able to put in, we went into international news and then came up to say, this is what we want to do. We had 51 people express their interest to say they would like to participate. And then after that, we screened. We had 32 coming on board. We screened further. And then we were able to come to about 12. And the 12 we have streamlined right now to 6. You have about 878 structures that are affected, different categories, calling 900 structures. In the alignment is clear, the stakeholder engagement, because no investor wants to come in without seeing your ESIA. So that we have done, and then we are now where we are. The data room is complete. So we'll be in the coming weeks, we'll be issuing the RFP documents to all of the 6 investors so that we can get a proposal from them and then analyze. And hopefully by November, we should have something. And by December, we should come to a financial close that enables us to know who is the reserve bidder and the preferred bidder, and then we can be able to fly.
Achieving a cleaner Lagos is non-negotiable to this government, and the efforts on the major highway appears to be paying off. The Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources explains how government is turning waste to wealth.
In collaboration with the private sectors, we are also increasing awareness on recycling in the state by setting up a recycling bank. One was constructed in 2020 within the Ministry of Environment complex as a model on recycling for the state secretariat. There has also been a continuous monitoring of highways in the state to prevent dumping of waste on highways, as well as reports on activities of LOMA. The ministries are divided on completing activities on the department, on the development of its policy on plastic waste in the state with development of a draft plastic waste policy. The policy will serve as a guide in the management of plastic waste and a framework document that will move the state towards realization of zero waste, a principle. The fight against noise pollution from social clubs and religious organizations, which I mentioned, has been carried out with remarkable success in the last 1 year, as the agency attended to 912 public complaints emanating from religious, clubs, industrial, and other sources of noise pollution in the last 6 months. The agency also commissioned a mini effluent plant used to treat wastewater and leftover samples of industrial wastewater from the agency's laboratory. The new mini effluent treatment plant is installed to handle industrial wastewater samples, and the facility has the capacity to handle both industrial and hazardous wastewater from companies that lack the capacity to treat their own waste. Lagos State Waste Management Authority, LOMA, during the period under review, and due to the magnanimity of the Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has provided employment to over 30,000 residents. LOMA has successfully increased the number of trips completed daily at our landfill site from 357 to 850 daily on the average. So before we resuscitated LOMA, we were recording only barely 350 trips to the dump site. But today we can tell we are nearly 1,000 on a daily basis, 1,000 trips to that dump site. We have witnessed growth in the PSP, that is private sector participation in waste management, that were the engine room of waste management before. They have also increased their capacity from 350 to 437 PSP companies that we have now. The period has also seen the acquisition of about 210 new compactors by the PSP operators themselves, who have also employed over 8,200 people. There's also a potential of 6,000 new jobs in recycling as well.
And the Ministry of Waterfront also tells us how the water transportation is getting a boost and the revenue generated so far.
Good channelization is key to safe and successful water transportation, which necessitated government's continuous opening up of water routes to complement existing ones. Part of the ministry mandate is the provision of navigable ferry routes in the Lagos water for smooth sailing of bigger boats under the Lagos ferry service. And as well, other ferry operators can also ply the routes. Hence the need for channelization of all identified ferry routes in the state to improve water transportation. At the inception of this administration in 2019, the Ministry of Waterfront made an unprecedented reorganization of revenue generation system and recorded an increase in its revenue generation from 15.42% performance in 2017, 8.9% performance in 2018, to 270.66% in 2019. This is well above the benchmark of 75%. And that records the highest revenue ever generated by the Ministry of Waterfront since inception. The year 2020, despite COVID, performed at 63% of an amended increased revenue. So it is at 165% of the old revenue that we used to have. So it is to say it has also performed creditably.
The governor and its aides are confident that with consistency and adequate planning, they hope more will be achieved in the second half, asking residents to support the administration to actualize the master plan of the state.
My colleagues in the media.
Dear Lagosians, the second wave of the deadly coronavirus pandemic is here. Its new strain is easily transmitted and deadlier. Coronavirus symptoms are fever, dry cough, tiredness, difficulty in breathing. We can all prevent the spread of this virus through appropriate and regular use of face masks, avoiding close contact with people who are at high risk, washing our hands regularly with soap and running water, especially after visiting the toilet, before eating and after coughing or sneezing, using alcohol-based hand sanitizer,
maintaining at least 1.5 meters or 5 feet distance from anyone coughing or sneezing, covering our mouths with tissue while coughing or sneezing, and thrashing the tissue. If you feel unwell and show symptoms of coronavirus, or you notice anyone who does, please call the Lagos State Emergency Hotlines 08000 ECOMED or 0803 33 56 5529. Many are dead. Don't fall victim or die in ignorance. Report now. Together, we will overcome this challenge. Igbega Ipinle Eko, Ajumosheni, Lagos State Government. Announcer.
That's the program for this week. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayo Tunde Balogun. Until we come your way again next time, please stay safe.